A big controversy has been sparked by the India's defense attache to Indonesia, Captain Shiv Kumar, who has said in an Operation Sindoor presentation on the 10th of June at the local university, and I quote this: "India did lose some aircraft, but it was because of constraint given by the political leadership to not attack Pakistani military establishment or their air defenses." In fact, let's listen in to what Captain Shiv Kumar had to say.
As brought out by Bapa Tommy Domtomo, that India lost a lot of aircrafts. I may not agree with him that India lost so many aircrafts, but I do agree that we did lose some aircraft, and that happened only because of the constraint given by the political leadership to not attack the military establishment or their air defenses. But after the loss, we changed our tactics and we went for their military installations. So we first achieved separation of enemy air defense and destruction of enemy air defense, and then that's why all our attacks then could easily go through using surface-to-air missiles, BrahMos, surface-to-surface missiles.
And Shiv Arur joins us on the phone line to get us more on this. Shiv, there was a huge controversy after the CDS made those comments a couple of days ago. And now Captain Shiv Kumar's comments. What are the possible fallout that we are looking at?
Well, this is likely to trigger a big expected political controversy because there are two things that have been said by Captain Shiv Kumar of the Indian Navy. He's the defense attaché in the Indian Embassy in Jakarta, Indonesia, and he made this presentation at a university on the 10th of June in Indonesia, which was basically to detail India's side of Operation Sindoor. And in the course of that presentation, as you just played out in that excerpt, he makes two important points. One, that India did lose some aircraft, which is something that has already been spoken about, like you rightly said, by the Chief of Defence Staff when he was in Singapore a few weeks ago. That had caused its own controversy. But I think the bigger controversy that's likely to be triggered is Captain Shiv Kumar, the Indian defence attaché, saying that there were constraints given by the political leadership as a result of which, the initial attacks by the Indian Air Force couldn't happen on the Pakistan military establishment and air defense installations. They were targeting only the terrorist infrastructure, and the implication of that is that's the reason why we lost some aircraft, because the Air Force's proverbial hands were tied. That's the implication that is being made. Now, the reason why this is very important is because this point has never been mentioned by a serving government functionary. An Indian defense attaché is a government functionary, part of the Indian embassy, part of the Indian system. So for someone to say this on the record at this point of time makes it unprecedented since Operation Sindoor took place. The fact that this may have happened has done the rounds in various levels since Operation Sindoor. But this is the reason why this is important and likely to trigger a controversy is two things. One, that it has never been said before on record categorically in this way by a serving government man and someone as important as a defense attaché, which is not a small thing. And two, that this is something that has been hinted at the political level by certain opposition parties, including the Congress Party. The Congress Party has, I remember a few weeks ago, had gone to town while attacking Dr. S. Jaishankar, saying that he had warned Pakistan, and B, more seriously, saying that the Indian Air Force's hands were tied and they were not allowed to attack the military establishment. The reality of it, of course, is that the reason why the Pakistan military establishment was not attacked initially was because India did not want to trigger a wild escalation between two nuclear neighbors, and it was understood that only terror targets would actually be attacked. Now, the details of that exchange, of course, will happen at a military level and a political level, and has already happened. But like I said, for Captain Shiv Kumar, the Indian defense attaché in Indonesia, to say this categorically on the record is, I imagine, going to have all manner of implications.